Hi, it's Lisa Cunha. Welcome to my scrapbook table where today we are scraplifting Jennifer Kane. I will show you her great layout in just a moment. I'm using items from my Counterfeit kit that I built for the month. I'll have links below for both Scraplift Crafternoon and the Counterfeit Kit Challenge. I'm the guest designer there this month, which is exciting for me. And here's a photo of part of the kit that I built to work from this month. And here is what I'm using today. Some black cardstock and some other colors. Here's Jennifer's great layout. Look at those beautiful bold colors against that black background with some splatter on it. I love that she has that black and white photo. Mine isn't black and white, but there's not much color. She also put some layered pieces on those bright colored pieces of paper, and it looks like there's some texture happening on there too. I wasn't sure which of these photos I was going to use, so I have them both. I took that photo for the quote, but I end up not using that quote. I go a different direction. These papers look very bold. They're more muted than Jennifer's because the subject matter seemed to call for that, but they're a little more muted in person than they are on screen. So I used a circle template and then a dinner plate to trace some circles and create those triangle-ish pieces that you see. I made a pattern and then traced those out. And I wanted some tone-on-tone stamping on these pieces. And so I thought that this broken china would be the perfect color to do tone-on-tone stamping on that blue paper. I was very wrong. Thankfully, I used a scrap first to test it. You see there at the last minute, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. And I don't know if you can tell, but in person, it was really ugly. Those two things did not work well. So I cleaned off my stamp and I pulled in this one, which is pretty new to me. And now the name escapes me, but that's okay. I think you'll be able to see it on screen. It's a distress ink, not an oxide. So, tumbled glass. And I inked up this stamp. It's called the Medallion. It's a really old Stampin' Up! Stamp. And it turned out just what I wanted for on here. On the yellow, I did some script. And on the reddish one there, I used a linen stamp. Just some textured lines. So I'm cleaning up. I don't have you watch all the stamping. And in a moment, you will see that they are all done. And I end up, what am I doing? I guess I do make you watch more. I'm sorry. So here's the yellow. It's fossilized amber that I put on there. And I did fired brick on the red. Okay, so now they're all stamped. And I am putting them on the black paper. I used my ruler to mark the center of the page there. And then I just place these around, trying to be sure to get an even amount of space between each of these bold colors. And this creates a little more than a semicircle. And it did work out. I made sure to stamp the script so that it would be right side up on both of these pieces. I didn't want one of them to end up upside down. So there we go. And there's my photo. I matted it in black and then white. And then I add some splatter with this picket fence opaque white. Except it was not opaque. It turned out really nice and opaque on the brightly colored papers. But on that black, it just sunk in. It just soaked right in and left kind of a haze. I could have taken all the colored pieces off and put them on a better piece of black cardstock. But what I ended up doing, which took forever, I shouldn't have done it, but once I started, I had to finish. I took a white gel pen, and everywhere there was a little hazy dot from splatter, I darkened it or lightened it with a white gel pen. So as I was reading about this memorial, it's the World War I memorial, I got to thinking about the poem In Flanders Field and the poppies that represent, that are part of Remembrance Day in British countries, maybe in other countries in Europe as well, and for Canada, and for Veterans Day here in the US. So that reminded me, hey, I have these 3D flowers that came in a 49 Market mystery box that I have no idea what to do with. They're going to go on this page, and I love it. I'm so happy with how it turned out. So my journaling says, on our way to the Smithsonian Saturday morning, we came upon Pershing Park and the World War I Memorial. As I read more about this memorial, I was reminded of the poem In Flanders Field and the poppies that symbolize Remembrance Day and Veterans Day. And this park is on Pennsylvania Avenue. And the photo I took shows a bronze casting that was made of soldiers in World War I, but there are all sorts of statues there, lots of info to read. And then I printed out the poem In Flanders Field, and I learned a lot about the author. His name was Dr. John McCrae. He was a Canadian. He wrote this after he buried a good friend of his that he was unable to save in Belgium. And it's written from the viewpoint of those who died. And he looked out over the battlefield and saw the graves, and yet these poppy flowers that were still blooming. And Flanders Field, from what I read, can refer to battlefields in Belgium. One website said both Belgium and France, so I don't know which of those is correct. But anyway, here I am gluing down these flowers that I am using to represent poppies. I don't know that they are really supposed to be poppies, but they are close enough. They remind me of the poppies that the VFW guys passed out at the grocery store when I was a really little girl. And at the time, I had no idea what they represented. I was really small. That's one of my earliest memories is going to that store. But I think they work well and are a good reminder of that. So I had some leaves that I can add in there as well. And I also add some layers from a Vicky Bouton papery pack, the pack that never goes away. I'm so happy that I bought that long ago because it has come in handy on so many layouts. And then the very last thing I do, which was kind of necessity, but I'm really glad it worked out this way, I add some little black stars, because where I added some glue to hold the vellum down, it was showing through. It leaked out from underneath that yellow paper and was making a glop. So in the still shots that are coming up at the end, you will see that I have added some little tiny black stars scattered from the top to the bottom. I also add some papery layers, and you'll see those in the still shots as well. I'm really thankful that you're here today. If you're new, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. I would love if you would just pop a comment in there and say, hey, I'm new. If you're watching, please give me a thumbs up. That's encouraging to those of us who make videos. Also, in the description box below, you will see info about Jennifer and how to see her content, how to visit the, visit the Counterfeit Kit group, as well as clicking on the playlist to see everyone who's playing along with Scraplift Crafternoon today, and look at their take on Jennifer's great layout. I always love seeing how different our projects end up, even though we all started by being inspired with the same one. So I'm just going to read one part of this poem. It says, "In Flanders fields the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below." It's very somber, but I'm really glad we happened upon this park and got to spend a little bit of time there. And I love learning about history, so it was really great for me personally to then come home and read some more about it. Again, thanks for being here. The still shots are coming up, and I hope you have a great day, and I hope that you get to scrapbook something of your own very soon. Bye-bye.